Around 4 p.m., my mom sent me a text. Meet me at McDonald's, and she's at a department store with her friends. So I waited because I'm able to keep track of my mother's new habits since she came to New York City, and she's going to a job training program at America Works. I was waiting for a second message while I was sitting in the library. Then she mentioned, "Did you get message?" And this clarifies the second text that she sent me clarifies that she isn't in McDonald's. She's still with her friends. And this is how the multi-agent quantum AI computer simulates the time and events by means knowing what time or place to allow people to socially interact with one another. So that's my mom and her friends. So I said okay. So I went to the bathroom in the library, and then I left at 4:13 p.m. to go to McDonald's, and I stood in front of the McDonald's windows, and I see that my mom isn't in McDonald's. She's still with her friends. At 4:19 p.m., my mother and, I'm always standing in Link NYC free Wi-Fi, and I'm always recording at that specific spot. And across the street, there's an electronics store, and there's a guy on the microphone, and he always puts on hip-hop songs and R&B songs. So he ends up coming in the same time with my mom in a McDonald's, and they was talking to one another as they entered into McDonald's. And I'm saying to myself, wow. And it's a direct message. The multi-agent quantum AI computers is informing me, you see that guy there? I made sure during the time you came out of your job training program to put him in front of the electronics store by means to so he can actually blast the stereo very loud, so you won't be able to record, because I detected that you actually have a grasp of an actual meaning during the time you wanted to record in front of the Link NYC free Wi-Fi and in front of the electronics store. It didn't give me enough time. I had a really good idea. More like I had an idea where I wanted to talk about the train of thoughts and how the people that I've come across all made suggestions to me. Now it's 5:19. Now, after my mom came to McDonald's 4:19 p.m., I said to her that I wanted to go back to the unit. I don't feel right going back to the shelter unit because I had to sign in every time I go inside the unit, and I had to sign out. The security, there were 24-hour security guards, personally has to keep track of the time you enter in the shelter unit and the time you enter out the shelter unit, and they report it back to the case manager. Alright, so I have more. I also have an audio memory, because let me explain. Let me give a long explanation about what this audio memory is about. So I noticed that my mom didn't cross the street. So when we cross the street, there would be a beauty shop, and we would always cross the street, and there would be a corner store, and then we make a right turn. But in this time, at that time within the event, my mom never did that. It is something that she done. This is something new that she done in front of me. So she immediately made a right turn next to the beauty shop, and then afterwards she decides, more like I don't want to say decides. She's been set based on the cryptography key, set to cross the middle of the street where there's a whole bunch of parked cars aside from us, and it's an intersection, right? There's one street that has a car that is coming up. There's another car that's going straight up, and there's another car that's going straight down, right? And this is a very difficult way to cross a street. This is a very inappropriate way to cross a street, all right? And next to the car that's there's a car that's next to me, and it's a big Jeep, right? It's bigger than me, so I can't see what car is coming my way. So I stick my head out to see if there's a car coming, and the first thing that I see is a car coming, and then I'm the one who moved. I moved to see if there is a car coming, and then my mom says, you need to pay attention. This is not the first time this happened. This makes the second time that this happened. Around the first week of January, it happened where me and my mom and my sister in the morning time was crossing the street, right? And then I noticed besides that, it was in front of the shelter, and I noticed that my mom and my sister had done something that they usually don't do, right? My mom and my sister was slowly walking behind me, and my sister started a topic up to talk, so she can interest my mom into having a conversation with her, and they started slowly talking with one another, and I was ahead of them trying to cross the street, and I noticed that the car that's making a right turn, and that's also an intersection, making a right turn, was very impatient. That the person behind the wheel is not allowing the pedestrian, not waiting for the pedestrian to cross the street. They're supposed to always since the light says walk, they're supposed to wait until the pedestrian crosses the street first, then make a turn. But in this scenario, this is not the case here. And the first thing my mom and my sister says to me is that I'm not paying attention. They want to suggest to me that I'm not able to have I'm not concentrating. That my mind is not concentrating at that exact time. All right. Let's go with the audio. And yes, I've learned from the previous videos that that when I was making a recording, that the audio recording was louder than my voice. So this time I'll make the audio recording play a sound first, and then I'll talk.
That's not a reliable.
What the heck? Where you going? I wasn't going. Where you going?
Why are you crossing like this?
All right. Now, all of a sudden, like I said, I was peeking out to see if there was a car coming, and my mother already interpreted a separate idea. Now she's thinking that I'm the one who's not concentrating at that exact time when I was looking at the car. And next to her, there's a car with a license plate, and it has a number 3766. So it's 3766. And I'm saying to myself that the reason why the multi-agent quantum AI computers had generated the cryptography keys and embedded it through her thoughts so she can actually think about crossing that intersection that way was to allow me to see those numbers, to direct that message to me specifically. Now, not only that is doing that, it is making my mom suggest to me that I'm not concentrating at that time, that my awareness has been delayed.
It's alright. It's okay.
Because I don't want to go all the way down here. I'm just going to go straight over here.
Now she's telling me that she doesn't want to go down. This is the first time I've seen her cross the intersection like that. Very first time, and I'm there with her. I said to myself, I noticed that my mom, wasn't behaving right from yesterday, the way she was talking to me yesterday. Because yesterday, during the evening time, when I went in the bathroom to dry my hands, she started picking on my waist. She's saying, your waist is so small. Unintentionally said that to make an indirect message to me. And again, when I finished eating dinner and I covered myself up, I mean under the covers, because I'm tired. First thing she mentions is, how do you breathe like that? How do you breathe like that? And then she indirects a message to my sister, and my sister said, oh, I hear him breathing very stifling when he's under the cover. Again, and then I said to my mom and my sister, do you feel like bothering me? Why do you feel like bothering me for? And then all of a sudden, no, this was actually before dinner. Then my sister and my mom mentioned, are you mad? He's mad. Are you mad? Are you angry? Are you angry? Are you mad? Are you angry? They just kept repeating that, mocking that at me.
You usually don't cross this way.
Oh my God.
You usually go straight up.
I said to her that you usually do not cross this way. More like she never crossed this way before. This is the first time. This is during around 4:20 something p.m. and this is January 15, 2019, and she's crossing inappropriate. This lady been living in New York for a long time, and she's making me cross. Not only making me, she's also making us cross inappropriate. I'm just watching. I'm there, observing the way she was. Besides that time when he was in McDonald's, the way she just came in like that, and the way she started talking to me. And then she wants to convince me that she wasn't. She's telling me that she wasn't at the department store with her friends. She said that she crossed up the streets with her friends.
We usually cross the street and then we go there. You making me cross this way, man. It's alright, I saw the car. I have my hoodie, that's why.
I told her that I'm honest. I was being honest. I told her that I saw the car. Not only that, the hoodie, and not only the hoodie, the Jeep, the big Jeep was in front of me. I had to stick out my head. That's one of the most inappropriate ways to cross the street.
Why do you have to come over here? Man, I don't want to come
You try to convince me that I'm the one who wasn't paying attention. My hoodie was in the way, so I'm sticking out my head to see if there was any car.
If you're going to keep talking, I'm going to go right back to the rest of this because I don't want to even come all the way back here to come all the way back out again. Doesn't make no sense. If you don't want to go by yourself, come on, this is ridiculous.
No, she's telling me she calls it home, the shelter unit. That's not a home. There's a difference between a home and even owning and renting an apartment or a house is not considered as a home, because those are what people created. We're still relying on the people to create that habitat for us, rather than us creating that habitat so we can actually be able to survive based on living condition. And since she said that to me, I said to myself, well,
This is not a home, this is a unit.
Go to the different room. I want it by yourself. You don't need to be come. I just tied me up, Just tied me up to come here. I'm not going to start this back up, walk back, and then walk back. That's
Tomorrow I would go there anyway. So it's alright. Friday, yeah.
And afterwards, I noticed that my mom started talking about dying and death. At the end, that the multi-agent quantum AI computers set her so we could be in a quiet environment where she can actually indirect those messages to me, because that was unintentional, where she mentioned that she said she feels sick.
Thursday, because Thursday. Huh? What?
You put the key. You have the key? I don't have it. You have it?
So you came back here to bring me here and die here and leave me stranded with Christina here. And this.
It can happen anyway.
She mentioned to me that it could happen anyway. She came specific. She's telling me that she came here. She intentionally came here to die. She said that when she mentioned it could happen. That's what she's implying, because her mentality back in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida, was saying to me during the time when I was there during March 2018 that we was gonna come here and that she was gonna get a job. You see, that the multi-agent quantum AI computer is the one who's suggesting her to come here. She's not even able to have a concentrated mind to know her own intentions. That's the multi-agent quantum AI computer's intentions, to come here to die. That means it came here for her so she can die. So it's the one who's going to design her to die. That's what she's implying to me, and that's what the multi-agent quantum AI computers keep allowing me to encounter. I'm encountering this pattern more than one time. If a person keeps encountering a person like that is very close to them, saying that they're gonna die, what's the first thing that's gonna cross your mind? It's begging. Her response about death is begging for attention. This is something that I cannot actually distract my attention just to say that, oh, it's just something simple. It's, everybody. No, not everybody died. No, that's incorrect. Die the same way. That's the multi-agent quantum AI computers doing that. It's the one who's replenishing the human brain and body 24/7, and also slows down the process of how a human being is able to regenerate, so they won't be able to live a long lifespan. And then she comes back.
And you're telling me this at this particular time?
That's why I said particular time. You telling me this idea about your death. Why you need to inform me about this? She's only doing this to me. She's not doing this to my sister. My sister is 15 years old, yet she doesn't say this. She says this to me. But when I was a kid and when I was 15 years old, she would always say these personal responses to me and allow me to, and those responses is not for a kid / teenager to even hear. It would be very inappropriate. The term that she used is for adults, yet this is how everybody talked to me when I was a teenager and a child. They talk inappropriate to me. They talk to me like I'm their adult friends or their adult family.
Really off.
And I said to myself, my mom is talking really off and she sounds really off. Alright, so this is the end of the video. I'll be creating another video very, very soon or the following day.